progressive rock landscape is immense and filled with hidden paths. Although the English scene is the pillar of the genre, several other countries have delivered vital contributions with rare and impactful sounds that often do not receive their due credit. Come with us on an exploration of the inventiveness and technical brilliance that flourished in the four corners of the planet. Beyond British prog rock, 10 hidden treasures from around the globe. Ange. Drama, lyricism, and protest. The music of Ange resonates like an ancestral cry amidst modern chaos. Created by brothers Christian and Francis de Combes, this French ensemble injected a theatrical vein into progressive rock like no other, uniting dense poetry, irony, and a strong allegorical weight. In works like Le Cimetière des Arlequins and Fils de Lumière, we notice tension, mysticism, and a sharp social observation. The declaimed vocals and shifting structures mold an aesthetic that is instantly identified by the listener. Even with enormous fame on French soil during the 70s, Ange never achieved the global projection of their peers from England. However, their legacy is vast among fans of the style in Europe. The album Au-delà Du Délire shines in their catalog, serving as an invitation to a complete sensory journey. Enjoying Ange is like watching a progressive opera in eternal transformation, a feast of sounds that ignores conventions and breaks stylistic barriers. Harmonium. 3 records, an eternal legacy. The sound of Harmonium is pure reflection. Hailing from the French part of Canada, the collective led by Serge Fiori elevated progressive folk to levels of spiritual beauty. Si on avait besoin d'une cinquième saison is a thematic work that imagines a mystical season, a symbol for expanded perception adorned by soft notes of flute, mellotron, and acoustic strings of unparalleled brilliance. Even with a brief trajectory, Harmonium's mark is permanent. They are remembered with enormous respect by those who found their art like someone discovering a sacred object. Their works are ideal for periods of calm and contact with the natural. It is progressive in essence, but above all, it is something visceral, gentle, and dense. A gem from Quebec that still waits to be discovered by a much larger audience around the world. Shingetsu. With only one self-titled record from 1979, Shingetsu carved its name into the history of Japanese prog. The deep and striking timbre of Makoto Kitayama, often associated with that of Peter Gabriel, guides themes bathed in melancholy and stillness. The composition work is of a high level, showcasing spacey keyboards, subtle guitars, and montages that evoke a painted canvas more than a conventional rock song. The group's title, translated as New Moon, defines its concept well. A nocturnal, delicate, and enigmatic sound. Shingetsu is the band that reveals itself gradually, like an ancient myth kept in the shadows. Although they have only one official studio album, their cult prestige is unquestionable, a unique pearl that radiates its own light within the vast progressive rock scene of the Far East. Hoelderlin. Inspired by the romantic bard Friedrich Hoelderlin, this group is the link between dramatic poetry and avant-garde rock. They began in native psychedelic folk, but soon migrated to a symphonic style with sumptuous arrangements, moving on to use English lyrics. Clowns and Clouds and Rare Birds are records that balance class and audacity, with timbres that transition between the rural environment and the infinity of outer space. Even if they do not boast the fame of names like Eloy or Grobesnit, Hoelderlin polished a style of their own, where feeling supersedes exhibitionism. Their albums function as musical accounts of latent emotions and mental landscapes. This is a band to be appreciated calmly, and to stand as one of the most captivating secrets of West Germany's effervescent progressive school. Asia Minor. Asia Minor represents a magnificent and exotic union between the West and the East. Composed of Turks living on French soil, the group brought a unique Mediterranean perfume to the progressive genre. Recorders, clean guitars, and complex time signatures define the albums crossing the line and between flesh and divine. Their art is refined and mysterious, maintaining a perfect balance between European rigor and Middle Eastern melodic scales. Rarely have bands been so authentic within the style. Asia Minor proves that progressive sound has no homeland, but rather a universal creative soul. Their albums sound current, as if floating outside the calendar on a private plane. It is an auditory immersion that breaks geographical boundaries and establishes mental connections between different cultures and sonic traditions. Don't miss out! Check out our selection of 10 essential groups for anyone wanting to dive into the Italian progressive rock scene. Click on the card appearing at the top of your screen. Au Terço. A fundamental name in Brazilian Prague, Au Terço is the meeting point between the lyricism of Minas Gerais and the grandeur of symphonic groups. With the classic Criaturas Da Noite, they reached their artistic peak, blending orchestral strings, heavy guitars, and highly poetic lyrics. This work is regarded by many as one of the pillars of Brazilian rock, and such recognition is more than deserved. The group went through several lineup changes, but always upheld technical rigor. They merged traits of Brazilian music without losing their progressive foundation. In a scene often focused on other styles, Au Terço emerges as a phenomenon that proves Brazilian territory also secured its place in the gallery of worldwide progressive rock legends. Novalis. Drawing from the well of romantic literature, Novalis delivers symphonic prog with a melodic and deeply passionate tone. In works like Sommerabend and Brandung, they crafted introspective atmospheres with long instrumental passages and a pastoral feel. They sang in their native language with pride, which added an extra layer of authenticity to their artistic vision and signature sound. Listening to Novalis is like walking through misty woods at sunset, calm, yet filled with a vibrant inner strength. It is an ensemble that touches the soul without resorting to empty technical gymnastics. Their work invites deep meditation and should be revisited by all who value aesthetics and emotional density within the rock universe. Triana. Triana founded Andalusian rock, uniting the fervor of Spanish tradition with progressive experimentation. The trio from Seville gave birth to iconic albums like El Patio and Hijos del Abogio, where the weight of guitars and the rhythm of flamenco live in perfect symbiosis. The visceral vocals of Jesus de la Rosa give soul to poems narrating pain, desire, and belonging on Iberian soil. During a time of political transition in Spain, their art served as a lyrical manifesto for fresh air and cultural identity. Triana is an artistic entity much more than just a rock band. Their mark endures through the years, and their inventiveness remains an absolute milestone. A sound that sprouts from Southern Europe to resonate with anyone who feels art with fervor. SBB. In 1970s Poland, under the shadow of censorship, SBB emerged as a cry for aesthetic freedom. Their sound is organic, based on improvisation and staggering technical rigor, fusing rock, jazz fusion, and classical themes. Albums of the caliber of Nowy Horyzont and Ze Słowem Biegne do Ciebie are living proof of how talent can overcome political and social barriers. Led by Joseph Skrek, the trio pushed past the boundaries of the Eastern Bloc to become a pillar of European progressive rock. To listen to SBB is to feel a raw musical energy, polished with extreme mastery. It is the sound of resilience transformed into high-quality progressive art, remaining one of the most respected names in Polish musical history. Serú Girán. Serú Girán is not just a group, it is a landmark of South American culture. Featuring Charlie Garcia, Pedro Aznar, David Laban, and Oscar Moro, the band united Prog with jazz rock and the rich Argentine harmonic tradition. The album La Grasa de las Capitales provides an acidic portrait of the social void of that era, delivering brilliant arrangements, layered vocals, and textures that expand the concepts of what Latin rock can be. Serú Girán's aesthetic is technical yet full of heart. Their instrumental mastery, captivating melodies, and heavy existential lyrics made them idols in Argentina. They showed that progressive rock can be popular without losing its complex essence. A source of pride for Latin America that continues to move and influence new generations of musicians. We hope this guide has opened new musical doors and proved that the magic of progressive rock knows no borders. The journey continues with you. Listen to these bands and explore the fantastic landscapes they paint with sound. If you enjoyed this topic, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel to keep up with our updates, and share this with anyone looking for quality music. See you next time.